Hi, I'm Maddie Favreau, and today I'll be talking about AI in early design. So my hypothesis centers on the extent to which AI can be utilized during the early design stages by employing generative design, and this approach allows for the creation of multiple generative designs based on the parameters and constraints specified in the prompts, and this curates faster decision making in the early design development phase. So early decision-making establishes the foundation for a project's influence in their cost, functionality, and overall success. By making informed choices and experimenting, designers can pinpoint potential issues at an early stage, ultimately saving time and resources. And it's crucial to focus on efficient and effective designs from the outset. And some examples would be like reducing risks in rework and enhancing the likelihood of adopting sustainable practices and improving stakeholder alignment for successful feedback and collaboration. And early design shapes everything about a project from the cost to the carbon footprint. So the early design decision making is very important in a project. So what helps is if this process did not end up being like very crucially long. So I will share one of my early failures, which I used Hector by Parametric, which is a generative design software tailored for urban planning and early decision-making processes. And so I explored the demo to familiarize myself with the software's functions, and I found it to be very user-friendly thanks to a lot of the tutorial videos available for each feature. And unfortunately, the software did not work because there was a lot of major like restricted and limited usage, and I was using the free version, but without the access to the pro version, I was unable to test my hypothesis due to these limitations in scenario generation and project creation. So I believe the quality of the outputs that were generated were very good, but it did not meet my project goals. So I decided to switch to Autodesk Forma, and Autodesk Forma represents the next generation of SpaceMaker, which Autodesk acquired in 2020. So this is like an upgraded version of SpaceMaker, and it is a cloud-based software also tailored for urban design and site scale modeling. And some features include like conceptual design, layout generation, massing studies, environmental analysis, and then you can use Autodesk Forma for architecture, engineering, and construction. So this could like bring all aspects of a project together. And Forma isn't just about efficiency, it's about enhancing the quality of our designs from the very start. And it empowers us to make informed decisions early on, setting the foundation for successful projects. So the three main key features of Forma would be the environmental analyses, the Autodesk connection, and then AI generation. The environmental analyses are predictive, and it helps designers to evaluate their designs in the initial early design stage for live-in qualities. And these are visual predictions based upon real-world data. And then Forma is a plugin, so you can plug it in for like Revit, so you can have a synchronization between the two softwares to seamlessly work on and improve designs. And then using the AI generation helps you to eliminate unnecessary time during the early stages of the design phase to optimize decision making, and it allows for multiple designs to be generated within a short time frame, offering multiple perspectives for one site. So these are two little videos about how some of the environmental analyses work. And since they are predictive, it is going to give you its best estimated guess and perspectives for the time frame of like days, hours. And so the one on the left is for daylight, and then the one on the right is for wind. This is a little demonstration video that I created, and I used a site based in Amsterdam in the Netherlands and set the parameters for my design. And so there is an AI generation input in Forma that helps me create with my generations. And so there are multiple design types to choose from, but I decided to go with apartments since I am creating low density housing for my studio project, so I decided to do something very similar. So once you click the design type you want, there are different settings to configure your design, or you can choose from multiple different templates that are already there. And I decided to create my own with changing the different configurations or leaving the default ones in. So I set my max building height to 30 meters with a maximum of 10 stories. And afterwards, I changed the mix of apartments a little bit from the default settings, like having less two beds and then having less one bed apartments and then adding in some four bed dwellings and like some studios spaces. And then lastly, you can choose your desired floor height, building length, and other advanced settings like site offsets. And then once you're done, you click generate, and a number of generations would be given to you that you can choose from as your design desired for your final proposal. So these were three of the best generations that it gave me, but I felt like it didn't really meet my needs that well. So after generating my first set of designs, I decided to go back into Forma to regenerate and refine my designs from the first set I created to better fit my needs. And so I decreased the site coverage to 60% from 75% with the same building height but switched to a lower number of stories. I then changed the number of apartments to have a more equal mix of dwellings, along with changing the building offset. And then I also decided to change the floor height from 3 meters to 3.5 meters to allow for larger variation of the height in the dwellings. And I also changed the building length from 100 meters to 70 meters. And so once generated, I was given a completely new set of designs that fit my specified needs, and it seemed to give the exact same amount of generations as my first set of designs did. And so these were the three generations that best fit the needs of myself and for the site. So how does AI work within design generation? So with Forma, it offers an impressive range of design scenarios, but it's important to clarify how these scenarios are generated. So with Autodesk Forma, it leverages AI in the design generation process. Forma utilizes advanced machine learning, rule-based logic, and algorithms to create, analyze, and refine design scenarios. It's all about how these constraints drive the output. The more specific your parameters, the more tailored your design scenarios become. It's crucial to understand that while Forma can generate an unlimited number of design scenarios, the actual number of generations you see is influenced by the parameters you set. Increasing parameters doesn't actually mean more scenarios. It's about balance and precision. And so through the generation phase, um, there's like a generation recipe used to create a solution that uses an algorithm to utilize the inputs to create a valid solution. And so then each solution is evaluated against specific criteria to be ranked among the rest. And then lastly, it is put in like a repeated cycle that the algorithm uses like all the input information to refine and generate new solutions. And then it keeps on repeating over and over again until you find the proposal that best fits your needs. Some challenges and limitations to Forma is like the cost in licensing, the internet dependency, the customization limits. There is geographic data limitations. It is less user friendly than Hector was to me, and then it's very challenging to use Forma in like later design phases. And then the speed and performance issues. It loaded a lot slower than Hector did. And then the environmental tools are not precise at all because they're visual representations of past data. And so the key takeaway is that while Forma can produce unlimited design scenarios, the actual number of scenarios generated depends on the number of parameters you set. However, it's crucial to understand that increasing the number of parameters does not directly correlate to a higher number of generated scenarios. This means that you can explore various design outcomes without overwhelming yourself with endless possibilities. And by strategically choosing your parameters, you can effectively harness the creative potential of Forma.